morning, students. Today we are going to continue the remaining portion of modern concept of organic evolution. In the last class, we have finished up to natural selection, and today we are starting with a small part of that is natural selection in action. So it is explaining through one example. Example means it is discussing about the industrial melanism. Industrial melanism. I will show you because of the advancement of industrialization. Some change happened in the uh, diversification of a particular species, and that is an example of how nature select a particular species which are more adapted with its surroundings, with its environment. And we are going to see example industrial melanism. It is explaining with the example Biston betularia. It's a moth. In the initial times, there is not much industries at that time. So there are two types of moth. This Biston betularia. White are there and black also there. White are more common. Black only very rarely. Rarely only we can see the black species. Then at that situation, the predator of this moth always can very easily locate this black one. So always the number of white outnumber the number of black because it is in permanent danger. Danger means it is usually picked up by the predator birds because of its conspicuousness. It is very obvious. Means it is very clear in its background. That's why its predator can easily locate them. Then what happens? Industrialization happen. As a result of industrialization, pollution, the level of pollution has increases, and the color of tree trunk have changed from almost somewhat whitish to black environment. In that particular condition, white become more conspicuous, more clear to the predator birds. But black is very camouflage to it surrounding its ambience. So in that situation, the predator can easily locate white. So accordingly, the number of black increases and the number of white decreases, and gradually they begin to disappear from this species. The species start to represent mainly by black one. That is industrial melanism. It's an example how natural selection is acting in favoring a particular species. Okay. Next, R selection and K selection. It's also very important. R selection and K selection. It is proposed by MacArthur and Wilson in 1976. There's an equation. This equation is R is equal to dN by dt, which is equal to R capital N, the whole multiplied by 1 minus N by K. Here the R is growth rate of population, and K is carrying capacity. Carrying capacity we already learned. What is carrying capacity? Is a maximum capability of a habitat to accommodate organisms. Carrying capacity. Then what is R selected and K selected? R selected means those organisms which are R selected. They can produce more offspring. Okay, those organisms that are selected, they can produce more offspring. Think in the case of ant. And other very easy thing is there to distinguish R selected and K selected organism. That easy trick is that all small sized short lifespan organisms will usually come under R selected group, and those having long lifespan and big size will come under K selected. So you think about ants. Ants, they produce more offspring because they need to sustain their generation. Well, think about K selected in this group, we and including we, all big animals will come, and their lifespan is long, and also their size is long, and they are producing less number of offspring because as they are big and big, and also they are that much capable to exist in the nature without getting disappearing or like extinct. That's why they all those organisms come under K selected. Then R selection is usually happen in unstable environment because need to produce more offspring to support the species existence of that species. Those organisms which are included in our selection, they have the ability for quick reproduction, and also for the can successfully compete with other organisms in maintaining their population. Next, which are the characters of R selected organisms? They have high fecundity, high reproductive rate. They are small size. While explaining about R selected, you just think the image of ant in your mind. Then you can easily memorize all its traits. Okay, once more, they have high fecundity. Okay, that means it produces more number of offspring. Is correct with respect to ant. And small body size and short generation time, and the ability to disperse offspring to wide area. These are the traits. Examples of organisms come under our selection are bacteria, diatoms, insects, weeds, etc. Then coming to K selection. K selection is applicable uh, to they have to complete their life cycle with limited resources, and they have long lifespan. Their size is big. All these are its features, and also some other features are there. There, its population is constant, and it's almost continuing in a level that is near to the carrying capacity. Which are the traits, features, or peculiarities of case selected individuals? They have large body size, long lifespan, and production of fewer number of offspring. Example: elephants, humans, great apes, etc. Majority of organisms fall between this R and K selection. If we consider the case of tree, they fall in a range between R and K selected. Plants with a high longevity comes under K selection, and those that producing more offspring comes under the R selection. Okay. Next, moving to another very important thing, and most probably there will be question from this section, that is isolation and isolating mechanism. Can also be asked as an essay question. What isolate? Now nowadays we are more familiar with this word, isolation. Isolation means creating some barrier. Maybe it is happening naturally or man-made. Anyway, some barriers are forming and it prevent interbreeding between those species. Those are found on either side of that barrier. It is first described by Dohansky in 1937. Two types of isolation are there, extrinsic and intrinsic. First we are going to see extrinsic or geographic mechanism of isolation. Extrinsic means because of external factors. That can be geographic, means geographical features of a place. That will act as a mechanism for isolation between two species. What is it? When a place is isolated by physical barrier, then we can call that type of isolation as extrinsic isolation. Physical barriers like a desert, yeah, sometimes a desert can form between or dividing a one big habitat and then that single habitat become two. I will show you. Firstly, there is a big large area and gradually a partition is originating, developing. It divides this big area into two, and the species here cannot breed with species here because of this separation. And this separation can be of a desert, a deep valleys also sometimes form, sea can be formed. All these type of geographical barriers, it is responsible for diversification of the two species. Yeah. Such type of isolation is geographic isolation. Example is there. Example, I will show you. So I am removing these ink marks. Example, Darwin's finches. Okay, Darwin finches I will explain to you. Darwin finches. Um, in the initial phase, there's a particular bird, and that bird usually found in South America. South America. Here only a single species of that particular bird is found in South America. And from this South America, about 900 kilometer away, there is an island called Galapagos. Galapagos Island. And this island is separated from this South America by a large water body. Somehow, one member of this bird reached this island. Then reaching here, it start to reproduce here, and its number increase. But as the number increase, there happens competition for food. So some modification happened with respect to its niche. Niche means what? Is the trophic status. Means it's a food, simply the food. So as competition started, it became necessary for that species to have some changes and to develop new species with some modification. That modification includes the change in shape of their beak. Different type of beaked birds originated after that. And because of these different beaks, each one depend on different food. So competition is avoided, and gradually there exists about 14 species. All these 14 species emerge from that single species. And that single species, because of nature's pressure, this much different species originated. That is Darwin's finches. I think it's clear now. Okay, I'm going to remove this ink marks. So next I'm going to show you the picture of those finches. These are the finches, different. If you look at the beaks of each type of bird, we can see clear difference are there. And because of those difference, their food and feeding habit also different. In that way, they can coexist together in that island without any competition. As an example, for extrinsic isolation mechanism. Next, we are going to see intrinsic reproductive mechanism of isolation. Simply intrinsic method of isolation. Why this type of isolation happen? Because of the unique biological attributes. What are the basic mechanisms that involve and that will result in that isolation, intrinsic isolation? Means here the factors that is responsible for isolation is internal, not external. So we are going to see those mechanisms, mainly pre-mating isolation and post-mating. The name itself makes it clear that here the isolation in this method, isolation is happening before mating. Here that isolation process is happening after mating. Each one we are going to see. Pre-mating isolation first. When it happens, as it is pre means before, means before mating. So as that isolation happens before mating, it prevents the formation of any hybrids. Through which all methods it is making effective this pre-mating isolation? Through ecological isolation, temporal isolation, behavioral isolation, mechanical isolation, and morphological isolation. So we need to understand and to learn each type of isolation. Ecological isolation, first one. How this ecological isolation happens? When two species they share the same territory, but in different habitat those two species are dwelling. So there is no chance for them to meet together, to mate each other. That is ecological isolation. Same territory but different habitats. Example is pig frog and gopher frog. And in this pig frog is purely aquatic. It is living in water. But this gopher frog, it is living in burrows. This gopher frog is living in burrows, always in burrows. And burrows, especially in daytime, during daytime. And they come out only during the night time. Because of that change, because of the difference in the habitat, ecosystem that they are following are different. That's why there's no chance for them to meet together. So there is isolation. That type of isolation is called ecological isolation. Next, next is temporal isolation or seasonal isolation. What is temporal isolation or seasonal isolation? Seasonal. That means season plays some role in isolating species. Because here, if two species are there and their mating period, if it is in different season, there is no chance for those two species to mate each other. Example, orchid species Dendrobium. That particular orchid species. And this its flower open in dawn, and by night. Dawn means early morning. By night it will wither, means shed off. And this flowering happens because of a stimulus. And what is that stimulus? That stimulus is a storm. A storm in hot day. That is its stimulus. Storm in a hot day. Then how that flowering is correlated with this stimulus? That correlation differs in different orchids. Some flowers will flower after the hot wind. After how many days? After 8 days for one type of flower orchid. But that gap between that stimulus is 9 days for another species. So that effect of that stimulus is different for different flowers, different species. In that way, they are kept on isolated. The main factor that is playing here is season. Okay, it's clear? Another example is Rana species. Rana species means it's a frog, and its mating vary according to the variation in temperature. Particular species mate only in a particular temperature. So there's no chance for two species to mate together. Temporal isolation, seasonal isolation. Then coming to ethological isolation. Ethology means behavior. We learned ethology before this chapter. So ethological isolation, how it is happening? Because of the difference in the rituals before population. Before the population, each type species performs some certain rituals, certain behaviors, and that behaviors will be different from species to species. Because of that difference, isolation is happening. That is ethological isolation. Example is Hyla versicolor and Hyla femoralis. That is ethological. What is the difference between ethological difference between these two species? They differ in their breeding call. Breeding call of Hyla versicolor is short and loud. At the same time, the call of that one is very quick call, and also a sudden call, a deep sudden call. That difference is there between the breeding call of these two species. Next, coming to mechanical isolation. In mechanism some problem, so that way isolation is happening. What is mechanical? Here, because of incompatible shape and size of genitalia, two species are there. We think that two species are there, but their genitalia is not compatible. Not compatible. It's not suitable. Just like in a lock and key. Written as hook. It's not hook. Is lock. Lock and key, just like a lock and key. Because of incompatible shape and size of genitalia, two species cannot mate. That is mechanical isolation. Example: Drosophila and Glossina. In this, if anyhow if mating happen, death may can occur. Next, morphological isolation. Morphological isolation means because of the change, difference in size and shape. Look in this picture, these are two frogs, different species, oak toad and Gulf Coast toad. Look the difference in their size. This one is very small and this one is very big. So it is not possible to have a mating between these two species. That type of isolation is called morphological isolation. So pre-mating isolation is over, then we are going to post-mating isolation. That means after mating, how isolation is possible. When it is happening after mating. How? Because anyhow mating happened. Then what were only the methods, were only the way to avoid development of hybrids or an abnormal species. In what way we can prevent? By reducing the viability of gametes. The gametes that involved in that mating, uh, its viability need to reduce in that way also. And also, if anyhow that mating already happened, but happened and a hybrid is formed, but the fertility of that hybrid is very low. In that way, can prevent the progression or sustenance of that hybrids. Is post mating, after mating. Okay. So first condition we are going to see, that is gametic isolation. Gametic isolation is a type of post-mating isolation. When it is happening, when fertilization is not possible between species. Between species means two species. When fertilization is not possible. How? An example is if pollen grain of one plant, one species of plant fall in the stigma of other, it will not germinate. It fails to germinate. That is gametic isolation. Then post-zygotic mechanism. After forming the zygote, how can we isolate? That means a hybrid is already formed. Then how can we avoid the existence or sustenance of this hybrid? By making that hybrid inviable, or making that hybrid unsterile, and through hybrid breakdown. Each one I will explain to you. Hybrid inviability means as the zygotes are not normal, they will die before they born. That is inviability of that hybrid. Example: if a hybrid is formed between sheep and goat, it will not born. It will not born alive. Before that, it will die. Then hybrid sterility. Sterility means anyhow hybrid is formed, but it cannot develop. It cannot develop functional gametes for the next generation. That is hybrid sterility. These are two types of sterility is there. First one is developmental hybrid sterility. Developmental hybrid sterility means is an abnormal development of gonads, or maybe because of abnormal meiosis. These are the process behind this developmental hybrid sterility. Means with regard to development, hybrid becomes sterile. Some problem in developmental stages. Because of that problem, hybrid becomes sterile. Then congregational hybrid sterility means during the development of that hybrid, the chromosome failed to synapse. As chromosomes fail to synapse, what will result? Chromosome will not segregate equally to the two pole. Sometimes one cell may receive two sister chromatids, and other didn't have any chromatid. So unequal. Unequal. This is congregational hybrid sterility. Then what is hybrid breakdown? Breakdown means somehow between two species mating happen, and hybrid is formed, that is in the F1 generation, and that hybrid is viable and fertile. But when it moves to the F2 next generation, then that hybrid become inviable and weak. Example is the such a type of hybrid formed between Gossypium barbadans and Gossypium hirsutum, cotton species plant. That way that section is closed. Then we are moving to another part, that is species concept. This is also very important. What is species? Species means they are group of potentially interbreeding natural population, and also they are reproductively isolated from other such groups. They are species. Means species means say group, its individuals can interbreed each other, and they are reproductively isolated from other such group. Isolated from other such group. Uh, Such type of groups are called species. This is another species. Then we are going to morphological species concept. What is morphological species? The term itself indicates that when the in morphological species concept, it tells telling that members of a species look similar. But the controversy is that even the members of same species, in many situations, they look different. That means between males and females. For example, if you have a peacock, the male and females are different. So morphological species concept is not that much applicable. Then coming to biological species concept, it is giving this definition. Biological species concept explains that species is a group of potentially interbreeding natural population which are reproductively isolated from other such groups. It's a biological species concept, and it is more correct. Then what is speciation? Speciation means process of forming new species. It's called speciation. And Darwin's theory of speciation. What is Darwin's theory? Darwin's theory is telling that first there is a large continuous landmass is there, spread over large area, and the environment is variable here throughout its different location. So individual here and individual here, they are exposed to different natural selection. The natural selection of here is different from that happening here, and because of that, and gradually these two species become two different species. Okay, and those that live here, and those that live here, it cannot live here, and this individual cannot live in this locality, and at its intersecting region, certain, I will take another color. Mm. At this intersecting point, certain hybrids will form. These hybrids, they cannot live in this area or they cannot live in this area. They can live only in this place. A different individual, a new species is forming here. A new species. Once more I will explain. Initially there is a large area and the environment of here and natural selection of here and here are different, and it gradually coming to its end where there are an intersecting point, and those individuals that are found here are usually hybrids, and these hybrids cannot grow in this area and also in the other side, and this hybrids then gradually uh, become emerged to a new species, and since they cannot survive, they will eventually extinct. That hybrid will eventually extinct. It cannot sustain for long. So that is the Darwin's theory of speciation. Okay. Next, before that, I am removing all the ink marks. Next is allopatric speciation. Allopatric and sympatric speciation both are very important. Differentiate between allopatric speciation and sympatric speciation. Allopatric means there is some geographical barrier. If geographical barrier is there, then it is called the allopatric speciation. Speciation finally leads to reproductive isolation, and because this is a large area, some mountains form here very slowly, and the individuals here and the individuals of here cannot meet each other. This is the allopatry. First, a geographical barrier is forming, and gradually, reproductive isolation is happening. That is allopatric speciation. Next, symbiotic speciation. Symbiotic speciation. I didn't write anywhere. Anyway, we'll write here symbiotic speciation. Allopatric and symbiotic speciation. Symbiotic. What is symbiotic speciation? Symbiotic speciation means from a single ancestral species, two or more descendant species are forming. But all these descendant species are occupying same geographical location without geographical barriers. We'll explain once more before that. Symbiotic speciation means symbiotic. I am going to explain now about symbiotic speciation. Symbiotic speciation from a single ancestral species, two or more diverged forms are forming, but all the diverse forms are occupying same geographical area without a barrier. That is important. without a geographical barrier. Even if a geographical barrier is absent here, then also there exist diverse forms. The type of speciation is sympatric speciation. Okay. This is example for symbiotic speciation. First, there is an apple tree, and in that apple tree, one fly leave make its life. It is spending its lifetime in this apple tree itself, and it's laying eggs on in the apples, and the eggs are hatching out, and it is maintaining its population there itself. And somehow, one time, one fly leaves the apple tree and approach another type of tree. It's a cherry tree, and it nests there and lays egg there. And after laying egg there and developing there, it will not return to this apple tree. And after long time, uh, these two species become two different species. Clear? uh, Two different species not returning to the apple. And also there is no barrier. This type of isolation is an example showing symbiotic speciation. So symbiotic speciation means previously they are same species, but after diverging to a different habitat, they become reproductively isolated, even in the absence of a geographic barrier. That is, I already explained, that is symbiotic speciation. Then speciation through hybridization and polyploidy. How speciation can happen through hybridization and polyploidy? Due to polyploidy. What is polyploidy? Multiplication of entire complement of a chromosome. If that multiplication happen, that condition is called polyploidy. 3 and 4 like condition. Uh, and somehow that hybrids are forming, and if anyhow hybrids are forming, they reproduce only by vegetative mothers. And also in some situation these hybrids, that means these polyploid hybrids again will mate together and may result again in the doubling of the chromosome and may become another species. So that is speciation through hybridization and polyploidy. Next, coming to adaptive radiation and Darwin finches. So I already explained to you before some slides. Anyhow, just showing once more. The term Darwin finches was first applied by Percy Lowe in 1936. How it happens, everything I have already explained to you. In Galapagos Island, and why these 14 species form, because to avoid the competition for its food, competition, to avoid competition of sharing same niche. That's why 14 species are forming. They are grouped into 4 groups: ground finches, tree finches, warbler finches, and vegetarian finch. Ground finches includes 6 species, tree finches includes 5 species, warbler finch 2 species, is here, and vegetarian finch is 1 species. And all these species differ in their shape and size of beak. Okay, with this we finish this chapter. Thank you.